Blue Beetle number 10, written by Tony Bedard, art by Ig Guara. Last issue we left off with Blue Beetle meeting up with Green Lantern Kyle Rayner and trying to get some advice from him. And he had to go off-world, so now he's stuck with nobody again. This issue opens up in media res. Blue Beetle is basically chained up in some high-tech gizmo, being shocked in intense pain. And there's some scientists there just like, well, he's definitely an alien, but I just can't get through that suit. And they're like, oh, well, let's try drilling next time. So then Blue Beetle screams out like, why are you doing this to me? And in steps Director Bones of the DEO. And he's like, oh, it's because you're an alien and this is the DEO. And it's kind of our thing. We're going to get some answers, even if it's from your autopsy. He's like, I came to you. Why would I be trying to hurt you when I came to you? And he's like, don't try your mumbo jumbo on me. You're a bad seed. So 7 hours earlier, we see what he did after Green Lantern left, and basically he needed some food, but he didn't have money, so the suit is able to extract nutrients from garbage, to which Jaime's not really a fan of. He's like, oh, can we literally do like anything else besides this? And he sits and he thinks for a while, and he's like, okay, during that issue with Green Lantern, he dropped off like that bounty hunter from outer space with someone else. So clearly there's somebody here who he trusts. Can we get in contact with them? And he's like, the Department of Extra Normal Affairs, or what is it called? Department of Operations. He's like, yes, no, we can get in contact with them. They've already been tracking us. And Jaime's like, wait, really? Why don't you tell me these things, man? When are you going to tell me this stuff? So then we see the DEO HQ shortly afterwards. Director Bones is just dealing with some issues on like Hawkman, Static, and Firestorm. And then his office gets a call, and apparently up in the lobby there's a visitor. And it's Blue Beetle, who just passed through the metal detector and is just like asking to speak to the boss. Meanwhile, he's held at gunpoint at like 1,000 directions. He's like, would it help if I said Green Lantern sent me? So then we get a real quick cut back to Texas with his family. And his mother's just yelling at his dad, being like, I don't care if you don't want to do it. You have to call her. He hasn't called us in days. Like, you have to make contact here. And he's like, I don't want to, but I guess I will. And he hops up the phone, and apparently he's calling up his mother, Jaime's grandmother, and she lives in New York. And he's like, hey, Mom, so Jaime ran away, and she immediately just starts going off on him. And like, oh, you're a terrible parent, blah, blah, blah. And he tells her, like, no, he's in New York. That's where we know he was last, at least. Been there for a few days. And she's just like, what? He's been here and he hasn't said hi? You stay out of this. This is now a case for Habluita Canchi. So Jaime's grandma is on the case, I guess. So anyway, back at the DEO, Blue Beetle's being led at gunpoint down to some elevators. And basically he's just telling him, like, look, just don't shoot, please. Not because like it would hurt me, but because it would ricochet off me and maybe hurt one of you guys, and I don't want that to happen. They're like, noted, thank you. And then the elevator starts going down, and he's like, wouldn't the boss be up on the upper floors? And they're like, yeah, that's all just a facade. Like, the real stuff goes on downstairs. So they step off into this, basically a detention center block for aliens, and he sees like a normal gray-looking alien, and then there's the bounty hunter from before, and the bounty hunter's like, hey, where do you think you are, man? What, you finally decided to go bad? And it's like, don't act like you're talking to me. I'm a hero. You're a bad guy. It's like, yeah, you're a hero. You're a scarab with the reach. And immediately alarms start going off. And apparently it triggered a thing of like, the reach is a bunch of planet demolishing people. As you would see in, I believe, issue 10? No, issue 9 of Green Lantern New Guardians. But, yeah, no, they immediately turn on him. It's Code Red, DEFCON 5, and they start putting in a whole bunch of noxious gas trying to knock out Blue Beetle, to which nothing works. But then they start pulling out some extraterrestrial weapons, which do something. But the something is enough to basically shut down the Blue Beetle and knock out Jaime. So sometime later, a.k.a. present day, he wakes up, and Director Bones is like, yeah, we got that from some Kund scout ship. It is a boson pulse which, quote, messes with your Neveu Schwartz 5 brains, whatever those are. So regardless, at this point, it's just basically Director Bones talking to Jaime saying, like, here's the thing. We have footage of you basically just bumming around New York, and, like, yes, you set fire to that runaway boys home, but like you haven't been doing anything that bad. Yet you have enough tech in you to level the city. So I'm just trying to figure you out, man. Like, what is going on with you? What is your real objective? If you are an alien who came here just to bum around New York, well, then I'm going to let my scientists do whatever they can to basically get all your secrets and all your tech from you. If there is a human underneath that suit, however, then by all means, I'd invite you to come work with us, because that's like, you could be a great asset and I would love to know more about it. And the suit's basically telling him, like, keep your identity secret. You remember what Kyle Rayner said. And Jaime's like, I'm sorry, we're trusting Green Lantern now? And I was like, yeah, we are. Keep your identity a secret. So Blue Beetle basically just tells him, like, look, you got to trust me on this, especially if you're working with the government. You got to let me go. And he's like, yeah, why? He's like, because you're not going to like what happens when you back me into a corner. And then Jaime starts using his suit and basically blows a fuse for the entire DEO compound. He just takes down the power for a few minutes. To which Jaime jumps on top of Director Bones with a power charge, like Mega Man, like charged up right his face, and he's just like, don't do anything stupid. And he's like, yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to blow my head off? You think that's going to be the end of it? He's like, no, I'm not. I just wanted you to know that I came here for help. That's the only reason I came here, is because I don't know how to control this stuff. And he's like, well, why didn't you say so? Come with me. We'll work this out. And he's like, no, screw you. We're done. I'm out. And he flies out of the building. And then all the scientists are like, should we go after him? And Director Bones is like, I'll figure out how to deal with him later. We will get back to Blue Beetle and the DEO. So then, cut to Brooklyn, the offices of Superfail, a.k.a. that website that keeps on bad-mouthing Blue Beetle. And they're like, hey, why is Blue Beetle doing so hot? And some people are like, because he totally pimp-slapped that one girl? He's like, no, it's because he looks like a bug. And people are able to get, like, if all these superheroes that we're trying to take down look like bugs, they'd be a lot easier to take down. Otherwise, the ones that look like Superman are too relatable. So, and again, they're just a gossip column. They're not, like, nefarious or anything like that. But as they're saying how they want to take down these metahumans, who steps in but Booster Gold, saying, oh yeah? How about me then? And he's, like, ready to fight. So Booster Gold and Blue Beetle together, blue and gold. This is basically just a one-shot. I mean, all of the stuff that was introduced is just as equally wrapped up in this issue. The only thing that is kind of closing the book on is Jaime doesn't seem to really care if he has a mentor anymore. Like, he's just like, yeah, no, I'm done with that. I'll just strike out on my own. Screw it. I like the Booster Gold setup. I like the Abuelita setup. Both those are very, very interesting. Or maybe it's just Abuela. No, it's Abuelita. No, I'm liking them both. So the only I'm genuinely, I like the DEO as well. They Director Bones is a cool looking guy, and he's got an interesting enough mechanic with him. So I'm down with all this. I think that it just felt a little bit haphazard and just kind of jumpy overall. But no, it's a fine issue. It does what it needs to do. Overall, I would give this one I give it a 7.5. I think it's good. I think it's bordering on really good, but it's just not quite there yet. So yeah, there's not really much more to me to say. I'm looking forward to seeing how this evolves over the next and last batch of issues here.